Now we'll see the working of fundamental speed governing mechanism. It is employed for achieving low frequency control in power system. We all know we are having three control loops in low frequency control: primary, secondary and tertiary. With the help of this art, we can achieve very first two control loops in low frequency control. In primary control, we can have changes in the speed by maintaining a power balance in between power generation and power demand. And whereas in secondary control, we can have a fine tuning of the frequency, and also it is responsible for the power interchange between the tie lines. And for achieving this low frequency control by using the speed governing mechanism, we are in need of four components, starting from speed changer, speed governor, linkage mechanism and hydraulic amplifier. And whereas up to this speed governor, hydraulic amplifier till this turbine, this whole thing contribute for achieving primary control. And if we are going to add a speed changer along with the primary control, we can achieve secondary control. And now we are going to focus more on working of primary control. That means we are going to have a change in speed by maintaining a balance between power generation and power demand. And before going into the working of this entire speed governing system in detail, we will see the various functions of individual components available in this speed governing system. The speed changer is employed for getting a secondary low frequency control. It is going to provide a command signal to the entire speed governing system. It may give either a rise or lower command to the entire system. And the speed governor, we can say this is the heart of this entire speed governing mechanism, because it contains a fly ball. It is a standard speed governing mechanism. Due to this movement of this fly ball, either it will goes outwards or it will go up. With the help of this fly ball movement, we can sense the change in speed, that is a change in frequency. And then we have a hydraulic amplifier, and this hydraulic amplifier is going to convert a low level, low pressure oil into a high pressure oil, because and all these entire components are being operated by this linkage mechanism. In here we are having two rigid links, and these links are having a length called L1, L2, L3 and L4, and this length we can measure this in millimeter, and it will be in millimeter. So this millimeter variation in the mechanism is not going to have a control on the high pressure steam coming into the turbine. So in order to have a control on the high pressure steam coming via the control valve, we have to do a valve operation in the same pressure, so that we are having many stages inside the hydraulic amplifier. So that the purpose of the hydraulic amplifier employed here is to convert the low level pressure into a high level pressure. And we'll see the working and the purpose of rigid link over here. We are having two rigid links starting from A, B, C. This is first link, and second link C, D, E. And the first link is pivoted at point B, and second link is pivoted at point D. And this linkage, the link will have a movement with this point B, and point A will move along. And likewise, in this second link, the point C and D will move along. It means that we are not having any, we are having only this seesaw movement only at point C. It means whether we can have a movement of A, B in this direction. We can have a movement of this link from A, B towards C, or we can have a movement of B and C towards A. And whereas likewise in this second link also, we can have a movement of point C and D together towards the point E, or we can have a movement of point D and E towards point C. This is how the rigid link works. I will see the working of primary control loop in detail. Now consider that we are having a case that we are having some speed or frequency increase in the power system. So if, for this case will be, we have to reduce the steam because we are having more generation than the load demand. So we have to balance the power demand. So what we have to do is we have to cut the power generation. So in order to cut the power generation, what we have to do is we have to limit the steam going into the turbine. So it means that we have to reduce the steam coming from the control valve. For in order to reduce this one, already we are having increase in frequency. So increase in the frequency in the sense the speed governor is going to sense this change. We are having increase in frequency. Say for example, already we had a 50 hertz and now it is been at 50.5 hertz. We are having increase of 0.5 hertz, and this 0.5 hertz of increase in frequency will be sensed by this speed governor, and due to this high frequency, what will happen, this fly balls will goes up, and due to this fly ball goes up, the point B will also move up, and if the point B moves up, what will happen, this point C will comes down. If the point C comes down, again the point D also will comes down, and this pilot valve, we are having two chamber in the hydraulic amplifier. This is upper and this is lower, and due to this movement of point D in the downward direction, the upper chamber valve will get closed, and via the lower chamber, the high pressure oil will move into the hydraulic amplifier, and the high pressure oil will flow in this direction. So what will happen, the main piston will move up, and because of the movement of main piston in the upward direction, this control valve will get closed. Okay, what we have seen is our objective is to reduce the steam, and for reducing steam, it is a primary control. So the very first thing is the fly ball goes up, and because of that, the point B goes up, and again point C comes down, and point D comes down, and pilot valve also will come down, and oil flows through the lower chamber, and the main piston moves up, and because of this, valve close, and by this manner we are reducing the steam. And the same thing will happen, the same vice versa will happen if there is any decrease in the speed or frequency. The entire thing entirely vice versa will happen. Likewise we'll see for the second case. I mean, just imagine that we are having reduction in the frequency. It means that already we had 50 hertz, now the frequency got reduced to 49.5. It means that we have to increase the steam. It means we have to increase the power generation. So what is it the speed governor will do? It will sense the difference in the speed. We are having 0.5 hertz in lagging. So in order to improve that power generation, this fly ball will comes down, the point B will comes down, and point C will moves up, and point D will moves up, and the piston upper chamber valve will get open, and the high pressure oil will goes to via this upper chamber, and the main piston valve will comes down, and because of this downward movement in the main piston, this valve gets open. That's now we'll see the working of a speed governing system employed with the secondary load frequency control. We'll take the same case, like we are having increase in frequency. It means that our objective is to reduce the steam. So the speed changer will give a command as lower command. It means we have to reduce the steam, so it will give a lower command, and so because of this lower command, the point A will move up. Because of this movement, again as I said earlier, the point A and B will move along. So because of point A movement in the upward direction, point B also will move up, and the point C will comes down, D will comes down, piston valve will comes down, main piston will goes up, and valve gets closed. And this is how the secondary load frequency control also works. Now we'll see the mathematical model of the speed governing mechanism. The very first component that we have to model is the speed governor, and second one is turbine, and then generator. And the speed governor is having two inputs. One is coming from the speed changer and another one is coming from the feedback loop, that is change in frequency. So it is having one positive input and one negative input, and likewise generator will be having a one input from the turbine and it has to compare with the external load, that is a power demand. So generator and speed governor will be having two inputs and all rest are having a linear proportion. Now we'll see the mathematical model in short, that we have a plant model, that is speed governor model in a transfer function as GH of S, and it will be having the output as del PV, and it is having the output as error signal as del PG, and it is having two inputs. One is from the speed changer and another one is from the feedback, that is a change in frequency that is coming from the generator as a negative feedback. And the second one is the turbine model. It is having a direct relation between the point C and point E, or we can say as power system model. As I said earlier, this generator will having a two input. One is directly coming from the turbine and another one is the external output. So that is means we have to compare this mechanical power generation with the power demand. In order to have a power balance, we have to check with the external power demand, so that we are having a negative feedback of power demand to this power generated model. And this is the model of a single area of a load frequency. That's the entire block. So far we have seen a speed governor model, turbine, and then power system model. And altogether we can say this is the model of load frequency control for a single area system. Single area in the sense we are having only one generator. That's why we are calling this as a single area generator.